This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
Welcome to Off the Break Podcast. I'm Cody, aka Little Red Riding Hood, and with me are Kyle and Eric.
Well, happy Halloween.
Hello.
No costumes. What happened?
I don't like dressing up.
We were not given the memo.
I didn't think I need to give you a memo. It's Halloween. You dress up.
The calendar was your
How
memo.
old are you?
I did find it weird that we had a Halloween go by where you didn't inform us that there was costumes to be had.
Because I didn't think I had to.
No, I don't like dressing
I remember
up.
you had to quite
Last
a bit
year.
last year.
Yeah. And it
Which-
was fun, wasn't it, Eric?
It was.
I mean, the pictures and it was fun.
He
Like
looked like
everybody
Han
being
Solo.
in their costumes.
Yeah.
I just don't like dressing up.
Your costume was great though. You dressed
Yeah.
up as Han.
I did that for my girlfriend.
Still.
Well, it's still awesome.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
sure she loved it.
I mean, I would hope so. She made it.
Mhm.
So
What are you going to be this year?
this
As Eric.
MSU student.
MSU graduate.
Wearing his MSU
Alumni shirt.
alumni shirt
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
No, I just
Eh.
Kyle,
What are you going to be at your Halloween party tonight?
I'm going to be Burt Macklin from Parks and Recreation.
FBI agent Burt Macklin.
FBI agent Burt Macklin.
Nice.
Yep. Got the jacket ready last night. I couldn't find an FBI jacket that was an adult size, so I had to use my blue rain jacket and cut out FBI in yellow cardboard
Do you got the glasses?
And
Because I
yellow
think that's
paper.
the most important part.
I got the glasses.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DIY. I like it.
Nice.
And it was on a budget too, which made it even better. I didn't have to spend oodles of money just for a fake jacket.
My favorite costume I think I ever did, I have two. One was Beth from Dog the Bounty Hunter, his wife. That
Rest
was
in
just
peace.
an iron-on Dog the Bounty Hunter logo on a white shirt, and then balloons strategically placed,
Mm-hmm.
and a wig.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, that was good. And then I was this one was actually kind of creepy. I was Lorena Bobbitt. Do you know who that is?
I'm not
Okay.
She
familiar.
went to jail for cutting off a certain part of her husband.
Oh, his
Oh.
finger.
And so I just went and got one of my grandma's old silk shirts and tousled my hair and put fake blood all over myself, and then had a nice Ziploc baggie with a fake something in it
Mm-hmm.
and a knife.
That's pretty cool.
That was super easy to do. Cost like nothing except to get the fake.
If
Thing
I
in
could
the
do one
bag.
of those
Very
like
dark, very
good,
humorous.
Yeah.
if I
you
could
know?
do one of those like good zero effort, no money costumes, I
Yeah.
would. But I just don't brainstorm.
I was dating my now husband Ken at the time, and he just put blood down there like he was my victim.
Oh my god.
And we went to the bar like that. It freaked some people out.
They just walked in. They're like, "Oh my gosh, what did you do?" Oh wait, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. Now, all my favorite costumes were just like little kids' superhero pajamas with like the Velcro
nice.
on capes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright.
just pajamas.
I
you
wore
know.
a cape today.
It's like
It is a
a.
really cool
Anyone?
cape.
Is that a cape?
I had a
A
big
hood. With
Isn't
a
that like a
velvet
cape
shawl or
It's
something?
more of a shawl, but I had a big velvet red one I could have worn, and I'm like, I'll keep it classy. This one
So
that goes with the
classy.
costume.
We at least have to be respectable in the office.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with that big red cape now, though. I'm gonna be a vampire next year, maybe.
With a red cape. There you go.
I don't like the whole like generic monster Halloween costumes. Like I'm a cat.
What? Okay.
I'm
what
a
was
vampire. I'm a ghost.
what
I'm
was
a...
the superhero that in The Incredibles that had one of the capes? Or did they dress in
Oh,
red?
I can't remember.
I'll be one of
Oh,
those.
Man, what
Ed
were there?
does, like,
there
no
was like
capes.
so many.
Yeah, there's like
They had some great
3 or
names
4.
too, but I can't recall any of them
Mm-hmm.
for the life of me.
I feel
But
like
no,
the-
you could be one of the. You could dress up as one of the Incredibles characters. That would be kind
maybe
of
I'll be a dead one because I wore a cape.
Just shows you like bloodied up from however you got killed.
I went real deep with that costume.
So what do we got on this Halloween episode anyway?
This is a special Halloween Thursday episode because we were all supposed to dress up, but 2 people came in lacking.
No memo. No memo, no costume.
Next year.
Next year,
Eric won't be a part of it, but you will.
yeah,
You're gonna have to make up for this year.
I'll
Yeah.
have to go in 2 costumes.
He's gonna have to now come as a turkey for Thanksgiving one, and I don't know, Santa for our Christmas episode.
I would love to see Eric dressed up as Santa.
In the office.
Will you at least do that and hand out the presents to everyone?
Have to be a
Yeah.
unique spin on Santa.
Young Santa? Like,
No.
Do you want to be the Robo Santa from
No, I need something.
the animated show? Why can't I remember the name?
I don't know
What
what
are
you're
you-
talking about.
You know,
I'm
the
so
robot
curious about
Santa.
this now.
That's the evil Santa from.
That we were just talking about from Rise of the Guardians?
No, that's not evil. He's awesome. Ooh, you could be tattooed. Rise of the
Evil-
Guardian Santa.
Evil
Russian
robots. Wait, from wait, I think I'm thinking of Fairly Odd Parents. Wasn't there an
No.
evil robot Santa?
Santa. It's
I don't
not.
know.
It's the one with the spaceship.
It was a cartoon show or a
Yeah.
movie?
It was
It's
a cartoon.
show.
Like hand-drawn?
No. Yeah.
Or like
I don't-
computer?
You would know. It's really famous. I don't know
What's
why.
the character? Evil robot Santa?
The professor and Leela.
Futurama?
Thank you.
Oh,
God.
that's right. I knew it was
Thank
hand drawn
you.
at least, but I couldn't think
Yeah.
of like which show it's from. But it is from Futurama. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, now I get it. No,
What's
I'm
his-
not going to be that.
Oh.
Will you be any Futurama
just
character
put-
for Christmas?
Yeah, you could just put like tinfoil on your face and wear a Santa costume. Be super easy. We could just use silver makeup.
Oh, no.
He's definitely not going to do makeup. No
the
way.
man that likes cold showers is not going to wear some makeup.
Yeah. Cold showers are fun. Mix things up.
No.
Give yourself an adversity to conquer for the day.
Yeah, so wear a little silver makeup and dress up as
That's
Killer
too big of
Santa.
an adversity. No, I'm not going there.
So is this cold shower talk part of the Halloween special that we have, or
Oh,
is there
no.
anything else that
I
we're
just don't
doing?
have hot water in my house. It's like it sucks.
This is the perfect opportunity to learn to love cold showers.
I don't want ice cold showers.
And once you've conquered your fear of cold showers, you can go the
It's-
rest of your life
it's not a fear. I
knowing
just
like,
don't like
if I don't have hot
self-torture.
water, it's not going to be bad if it's cold because I can do that too.
That sounds so horrible.
Kyle's with me.
I can go either way. It's fine.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean,
Freezing.
like on a summer
Like-
day,
like
and I
no-
need a shower.
No, like blizzard outside, winter right now, taking a cold shower.
No, probably
Oh,
not.
yeah.
Not probably not in those circumstances.
Freezing. Count to
Yuck.
3, run in, be blasted by the ice, and then you get used to it, and then you get out and you immediately start warming up. And it's great.
Do you do the whole shampoo and conditioner?
Of course,
and-
you do the whole thing.
Why would you
Cold
was
water
just
locks
thinking
in
that if he-
bathe?
cold water locks in conditioner better anyways.
I was just thinking if he like cheats and just does like a 2-in-1 shampoo.
I hate 2-in-1. I hate 2-in-1 stuff.
Oh, I'm the cheap one that buys
I
them.
hate
Yeah.
it.
Do you get the 3-in-1 if you go to the little
Even
kids
worse.
section?
There's 3.
Oh
You-
yeah,
if
it's
you
like
go to
body
the-
wash,
Yeah,
conditioner, and
So-
Oh, it's
shampoo.
body wash. Oh no,
yeah.
I don't.
It's
know.
little kid stuff, and you can get body wash, shampoo, conditioner, all.
Oh,
all
really?
together.
That stuff's
Oh,
like
I had
a
no idea.
step above like those generic like hotel like little things.
Yeah.
I hate 2-in-1.
Okay.
Yeah. What do we
Well,
have on today's docket?
have
Let's get away from shower talk.
Spooky docket today.
Yeah, you guys each revisited a spooky movie from your youth.
We did.
I
yeah.
didn't, but
Kyle revisited Nightmare Before Christmas, and I revisited a super obscure, random,
I have to look this
probably
one up.
generic film called Mansion Mystery.
look when you show me the picture or like the poster, it's like this looks like a straight to TV movie type.
I'm sure
thing.
it was. I'm sure it was like not it,
In that
I don't-
title?
Yeah,
I don't think Mansion Mystery was
I
released.
think it was probably
in
like
theaters.
a VHS tape, straight to VHS movie. But just always remembered this one scene from this movie, and as I grew older, I could never remember the name or anything. So I finally figured out the name by Googling, like what's a movie with this one scene in it, and it came up in some random
Oh, yeah.
thread. Love people on the internet.
It always knows. The internet always
Yeah.
knows.
And And so I revisited it because I remember this one scene stuck with me my whole life. And
well, what was the one scene?
well, it kind of gives away. It's the twist at the end of the
I
movie.
don't think anybody's gonna care.
Really? You don't want to spoil the movie?
Oh, I knew that the movie was about a girl who dies in a secret shaft under her
Dead kid, and you watched it?
and the kid, like,
Yeah,
in my
who
mind,
are you?
right? Okay, it was only when I was little. I picked it out at like video library. Okay, remember those times when you just go and you're like, this one looks good.
You can still do that.
So I remember in my mind she haunted this girl that's alive in modern times to try to find her body, but that's not what happened in the movie at all. So I don't know how I imagined that part so well, but
And you're positive it was the same movie?
yeah.
Or did you just?
Oh no, I told her the scene that I remembered came up. I was like, oh my god, I totally remember this part.
Okay.
But the rest of the movie I had completely forgot because it was horrible. It was so bad. And the only reason I think I remember the last part of the thing that kept with me forever is because you saw a skeleton in the ground. And I was like, oh, that's my first maybe dead body experience.
That's pretty spooky.
It was very... I had to have been a really little kid.
No, I
Eric's
get it. I have
sarcasm.
tons of like instances and fleeting memories of things like that.
The girl falls on top of the dead bodies. I think that's why it traumatized me.
Yeah, no, you have these like images, or it just maybe an individual shot or something, and then you go your whole life and you're like, what was that?
And in my
And you
mind,
just build it up.
I thought she died because she broke her ankle and couldn't get out of the hole, but I think I just made that up in my mind to justify why she was dead in the hole. So,
Jeez.
but they found her and they could finally put her to peace. So,
Was it a good movie?
no,
No.
not at all. It was definitely a straight to video knockoff movie.
And you watched the whole thing?
The creepy old man. Yes, I watched the whole thing.
But was it like definitely aimed for younger audiences?
Yeah, I think
So
it was
worked
one of
for you
those
at the
like
time?
family, alternative family movies that was like a
Yeah.
whole collection from an independent distributor.
Yeah, probably. Probably like one of those, like, you can buy 40 horror movies
Right.
on one disc.
I thought the house was like haunted, but it was just this old man pretending that, like, rigged up the house to pretend to be haunted. So
It's just
he
mysterious.
had a control panel and stuff.
So he was trying to,
Sounds like a
Probably
Scooby-Doo
like-
kind of thing.
yeah, was he trying to like keep treasure hidden?
They knew treasure was there, but he didn't know where it was at, and
Oh,
they
there
find it
is
in the
treasure.
end.
Do they just keep it?
Yeah, they keep it, and then they find out that the original family owned the mill, and the bank can't take it away. And
Mill.
yeah, they're very exciting.
Land deeds.
What does a mill do again?
Cuts lumber.
It cuts lumber? Okay.
Makes
I just
paper.
couldn't remember.
It's okay. There's not very many of
It was
them
clearly
anymore.
a different time.
Did I have a mill growing up?
It was so
Did
80s
I have
though.
one of those as a kid?
It was so hard to watch, and the best, the
Because
kind
of poor quality, or because
Yeah.
it just was cringy bad, or all the above?
all of the above.
All of the above.
But
Wonderful.
it had. Do you guys remember watching old movies and seeing like that kind of burn mark circle where they were supposed to change the reel?
Mm-hmm.
It had those.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
like, I don't think this was ever in a theater, so I'm not sure why that's even on there, but it was the real marks.
Yeah,
Whew.
it kind of sounds like it was made for TV, so that is interesting.
Well, now it's brought you closure.
It has. It's brought me closure. I still think Watcher in the Woods is the scariest movie from my childhood ever. It still scares me to this day. So
When I try and think back, it's like because I just avoided all scary movies for so long, but I'm going to try and think. I know that there was, like, on TV, there was do you ever see Silver Bullet?
mm-mm.
I think it's just based on a Stephen King thing. It might not be, but it's like a werewolf story. And it's like rated R. And that was really scary to me as a kid. Just knowing something was rated R. I was like, oh, geez. This is
I'm not supposed to see this.
rated R means it's a scary movie. But I have like flashes of that. But I just don't have anything that like traumatized me as a kid that I've,
I don't know why. I don't think
back on.
I don't think that movie traumatized me, but for some reason that scene stuck with me my whole life. Like
Yeah.
it imprinted. That's what movies do. Like part of
Mhm.
them can just imprint. these random images or feelings at the time.
No, I found
Because they're so new that it just
I found a
has
subreddit.
to stay with you, kind of.
It must have really emotionally affected me for it to stay this long.
I found a subreddit a couple weeks back called Tip of My Tongue, and I'm like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And you can like describe things that you can't remember the name of or where they're from, and people, because the internet, they'll be like, oh, you're talking about this.
Yeah.
And I did that with a lot of these fleeting images. I'm like, oh, that's from this movie or from this show. I never would have known.
What a nice little subreddit.
It's
Yeah.
great
I should check that one out.
I should too.
if you have these lingering things like, what was that? Just if you
Well,
can
my-
describe it.
Mine, that one stayed with me, and that has been solved. I have closure, so I'm good now.
Nice. Well, what about your spooky
Yeah.
childhood movie? Kyle?
Nightmare Before Christmas. How was it?
This might be a little blasphemous for you to say.
Yeah, because I didn't exactly grow up with this movie, but when I first saw it, I didn't think it was as amazing as people say it is.
How old were you when you first saw it?
Man, I don't know. Maybe I was like close to teenage years, so maybe 12.
Middle school?
Yeah.
A little later than a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So, but when
Not
I
too
did
much
see it,
later.
I was like, I don't think it's that good. Like, it was a charming movie.
Yeah. No,
but
that's kind of how I feel, too.
I just didn't think it was as amazing as people who love this movie really say it is. And so my girlfriend, who really loves the movie, she likes to watch it during Halloween and Christmas as well, because she considers it as both.
It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid of the two. She had me rewatch it with her, and the thoughts were still the same. Nothing really changed it. I appreciated the music a lot more, that's for sure. I believe it was Elfman that was singing for Jack, correct? Jack Skellington? I think it was...
Oh, does Danny Elfman also sing? I know he does the music.
Yeah, I think he did the singing for Jack, and it's incredible. And the music in general is just so
Yeah.
nice to hear.
The
And
songs are
Yeah,
really
I think
good.
that's
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the main reason why it's as remembered now as
Yeah.
it is. I mean,
'Cause
the
I think the
characters
music's
the
just all
characters is
clever.
pretty iconic. Like, you know exactly who they are
Yeah.
if you see them. And the music. But yeah, whenever I watch it, I don't know, I just get a little bored. I don't really get like hooked.
I don't think
Or- Yeah.
the premise is strong, but just the layout of the story isn't.
Right.
That's what I got out of it. Like, nothing's really branched out as much as it could to make it interesting. Like, right from the get-go, you're like, ooh, this could be, like, really interesting. Then at the end, I'm like, I don't care.
I think a lot of people
I just kind of
misremem-
got bored towards the end.
I think a lot of people misremember it too as being like a Tim Burton directed movie.
Which
'cause
it isn't. It
it's-
was more produced.
It's not directed by him, but I feel a lot of people think it is, and so then maybe subconsciously that's like, oh, this is part of
Yeah, like maybe
Tim Burton's like earlier work.
a fan of Tim Burton's really latches on. It
'Cause
looks
I
a
love-
lot like Tim Burton's stuff, too,
Well,
which
yeah.
is fair.
No, his fingerprints are all over it, but
I believe
it's
he
not his
created the
story
story.
or direction.
I think he created the idea, but then had to give it to a different guy
Yeah.
to direct.
Because I
of
love Corpse
reasons.
Bride. I think Corpse Bride is a really good movie.
That one I
And-
still have to check out, actually.
You haven't seen Corpse Bride?
No, growing up, I
really
wasn't
liked
a
it.
big Tim Burton fan to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, minus the Batman movies, of
No,
course.
Corpse
but-
Bride is a
Did
good.
he
it's a
do
good movie.
Frank and Weenie too?
Yeah.
Or- yeah.
Oh, that was him
that
too?
one's sad,
Okay.
but I liked it.
Yeah, that was like just a nice little throwback. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make another animated movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this one, I don't think it's... I think there's moments for, like, younger audiences that could be, like, kind of scared by it. Like, there's definitely one or two scenes or maybe just, like,
Right.
character designs that will kind of make them a bit scared, but that's not really what the movie is trying to do.
My kids
It's
got
trying to be a
bored.
lot more endearing.
My kids got bored in it.
Yeah, like, it's just
Just-
not a story that's...
I
like,
think-
premise is cool,
yeah.
but, like, it doesn't go further to try and make it too interesting,
I
don't
kind of think that people just glommed onto the visual aspect of
yeah.
it. That kind of
I think so,
That's
too.
a rosy lens nostalgic movie
Yeah.
for sure. A lot of
Mhm.
people, and that's enough for them,
and they like
which is totally fair.
it was a really good movie for merchandising. You can buy a lot of
yeah.
cool, creepy merch.
Hot Topic
Yeah.
made a bundle.
Yeah.
Or still making
It's still
money,
making
probably.
it.
Yeah. I mean, Jack Skellington...
He's like the
for
emo
what-
kid icon of the
yeah,
2000s.
for whatever reason,
Yeah.
it's just... And it's so weird because, like, right at the beginning of the movie, you see, like, the Disney castle appeared. I'm like, oh my gosh, I keep forgetting
Yeah.
this came from Disney, technically. So it's so strange that...
Mm-hmm.
Because you just wouldn't think, like, nowadays, Disney would probably wouldn't make a movie like this. I don't think.
Probably not.
That's
what-
kind of a bummer. But
Do you guys have any other like Halloween movies from your past that you
were
remember?
traumatized by?
Or, yeah.
There's-
No.
Do you
There's-
remember Ernest saves?
Ernest?
Saves.
I
Halloween.
know those movies, but not the Halloween one.
And Ernest Saves Christmas and
Ernest Goes to Camp.
I don't remember that
Ernest.
one, but I remember Ernest Goes to Jail. We had the bad double.
First, I thought
But-
this was like
But the
children's
Ernest,
content,
yeah,
but then Ernest goes to jail, so now I'm like, I
Oh,
don't
that's
know what
good.
this
They're
is.
pretty kidsy
yeah,
movies.
they're very kids movies. But the Halloween one was really good. It's like goblins and stuff.
I guess I watched the.
Oh
I think
God, this picture alone confirms it's 90s.
Yeah, I remember that.
never heard
watching
of
that when I was
Ernest?
little.
I'm
You've-
not familiar.
You've
Oh,
never heard
man.
of Ernest?
No, not at all.
not even the character, like his voice, how he talks.
I have
He has a
no
certain
recollection.
Look.
Oh
my
man.
God, he's like wears denim, like everything.
I guess when I
Ugh.
think back, we had a VHS copy of like Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein and Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, that's a good
Uh-huh.
one.
And the Wolf Man. So I watched
Mhm.
those two a lot. The Frankenstein one scared me a lot. There's like a
Did you-
scene where like there's silhouettes up on the wall,
Yeah.
and Frankenstein like pulls the bolts out of his neck and takes
Uh-huh.
off his head, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so scary.
Scooby Doo on Zombie Island, like at a very
I
young
saw,
age,
yeah,
comes to
that
mind.
one was also
Still
pretty
one of the
terrifying.
better
Hmm.
Scooby Doo movies.
That's such a good one.
I
Yeah.
don't remember if there's anything else.
That's one I remember from a long way.
I was discussing this.
You guys
last-
were born in the 90s, so I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I'm not surprised you're not familiar, Kyle, with Ernest. And I'm not surprised that you are because you like that older stuff.
I'm an old soul.
That's
Yeah.
more. That's more in Eric's lane than
But I
mine.
was
I
like-
just take it all in.
I was like 8 or 9, so it was like perfect for me
Mm-hmm.
when it came out.
You weren't too cool for Ernest.
No, it was like big kid shows.
Ernest
it was live
pretty
action.
lame.
I don't know. I think I
don't
would
think
enjoy
Ernest
it
is
now.
big kid stuff. Ernest is like kid stuff.
But Ernest went to
Really?
jail. Okay,
He
why
went-
did he go to jail? Can
Because
someone enlighten me
That
on that?
he
Now
had
I'm
a
curious.
doppelganger that was in jail, and the doppelganger, I think, breaks out and and Ernest has a job at the bank cleaning the floors, and he like tries to switch with him so he can rob the bank basically from the inside. But Ernest,
so dastardly.
they know that Ernest isn't the guy that belongs in jail, so I think the other guys in jail help him out because he makes friends.
It's wholesome.
I don't remember all the details. It's obviously been a while since I watched
Right.
it. But I know there was a bank and a doppelganger involved.
Honestly, that sounds okay. That sounds probably
They're
right.
wholesome and they're sweet.
They are. He's such a nice person.
Okay.
Really dumb and does
And they're super
a lot
meta.
of slapstick.
Because like the camera guy follows him around everywhere, and he just like
Yeah.
talks to the camera, but you never see the camera guy.
Yep.
I
almost-
gotcha.
It almost feels like an educational kids television show. Like that's supposed to be interactive. Like, where should I go? Should I go in the kitchen? It's like, go in the kitchen, Ernest. It has that kind of a feel to me.
Really?
All right.
I don't
Yeah.
get that vibe
Some of
from
them,
it at
yeah.
all.
He's just like talking to the kids. He's talking to the audience, and since it's a kids movie, the audience are kids, and so I get that sort of like interactive, educational
In
feel.
the Halloween one, there's like a witch and she turns little kids to, or are they trolls and they turn little kids to little wood figurines.
How
Burn
dastardly.
them.
Yeah, and Ernest has to stop them to save the kids. It's really good. Really good.
If you say so.
Yeah.
High octane adventure thriller.
It's scary. It probably was too scary for Eric when he was a kid.
Yeah. It
mean,
wasn't.
no
it wasn't
one-
hard to be too scary for me.
No one wants. Oh, same here. No
My-
one wants to be turned into wooden figurines.
Did you ever watch Charlie Brown Pumpkin Patch?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was another one.
That
Vaguely
scared you?
remember. No, didn't
Or
scare
just
me.
okay.
I actually didn't watch a lot of too scary things. The only thing that really scared me was
You mean the Great Pumpkin?
the Watcher in the Woods movie. That one scared me.
The Peanuts version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's one like movie that scared me and I never went back. There were some that I thought were like scary, but I like couldn't stay away. Like the Black
Yeah.
Cauldron. That was a really scary movie to me as a kid, but I loved
I
it.
never watched that one.
It's not that good, but
That's Disney, right?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I was like in their silver age, I think.
Leading up to it. Or during it,
I
probably.
think it was during it.
Yeah. But no, that one's definitely like more of their darker stuff, so that's fair.
Yeah.
Especially for a younger...
It's like has satanic vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
What's the one with Tom Cruise in it where he has to save
The Mummy.
where he has to save the unicorn, right? From getting killed by the devil guy.
What?
Am I conflating two movies
I have no
together?
idea what you're
Tom Cruise
Yeah.
saving the unicorn from the devil?
My God, is this a Tom Cruise movie? And I haven't seen it?
Is it? It's not animated, is it?
I can't even imagine.
Just Google Tom Cruise unicorn.
Oh, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to figure this out. Tom,
Cruise unicorn movie comes up on Google.
you mean Tim
Oh,
Curry?
Legend. Okay.
Legend.
Curry, that's what you...
No, Tom Cruise is the young guy in it. Like he's
Yeah, I
really
know.
Oh, here we
young.
go. Yeah, I'm
I've
looking
actually
at the
never
full-
seen
Yeah,
Legend.
Tom Cruise.
I'm
I
vaguely.
saw
That's
Tim
one.
Curry
I'm
TC.
familiar with it. I
assume.
knew that was a Tom Cruise role.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to look at this.
That was another movie that is like
And it
I
has Tim
have
Curry.
vague
That's even
remembering
better.
of that I now need to watch again.
Interesting.
Well, what was it about? I probably should have read, but...
I thought it was something like he has to save a girl and a unicorn from the devil guy who's played by Tim Curry, but he's
that
like a
sounds-
red devil.
That sounds
It was
amazing.
scary.
But
I don't. I just remember.
Yep, Save the World and Princess Lily.
Mm-hmm.
And something about unicorns in here. But yeah, that checks out.
Dark fantasy. Cool.
Tim Curry's still alive, correct? Didn't he?
He had a stroke.
He had a stroke?
Mhm.
Okay.
But
I knew he had a
think he's
stroke. I just
still
couldn't
alive.
remember. Okay. Anyway, I just remember that.
I think I was on just too high alert at all times as a kid, and that just prevented me from stumbling upon anything that would be too scary.
But it's just
What
so
about
funny
Dark
now because
Crystal?
it's
Was that
obviously
too scary?
flipped.
I never saw Dark Crystal as a kid.
Or Labyrinth. Was that too scary?
No. I don't have super strong memories of Labyrinth either, but
I only got to watch Dark Crystal when I went to my grandparents' house, so it was a
I
treat.
don't like that movie.
You don't like it?
I think the movie is almost terrible.
The quality
puppetry
of
and
the
everything, the
story-
visual and everything is amazing. Like it's a technical masterpiece, but that is not a story.
A technical masterpiece in
That is not a
puppetry.
story. Because I wanted to watch it before I watched the Netflix series,
Mhm.
because that was supposed to be really good, and it was. It was incredible.
Was it?
Yeah, it's really, really good.
I haven't checked it out because
It's-
I didn't.
Like a billion times better than the movie.
Oh,
You should watch it. It's great.
I have heard really good things about it, and you just sealed the deal on me.
Yeah.
I'm convinced now.
so what about the story did you not like in Dark Crystal?
Well, there's like no story. Like there's that voiceover narrator,
Yeah.
and he's like, "There is this one gelfling,
Yeah,
and he will go on a quest."
and he does, and he meets up with a girl gelfling who
Who's
has
pointless.
wings.
She's totally pointless in the entire movie.
She gets him in there and saves him with wings,
Not
with her
really.
wings.
He would have gotten in there either way.
Is this
The
one of
movie
those
is
moments
just-
where you remember
There's
it
just
differently?
the characters are non-existent,
Right.
and the whole story is told in this narrator's voiceover at the beginning of the movie, and then it's
Mhm.
just kind of like it's just really, really boring.
Yeah. I haven't.
But
seen
it's
it in a
another
long
thing where a
time.
lot of people have such a strong nostalgic connection to that.
Maybe
For a lot of
because
people,
we were all traumatized as children watching it.
yeah, seriously, it was scary. I was
is
watching,
scary.
like, are you kidding me? This is meant for kids.
Yeah.
There's that weird,
So dark.
the Skeksis like emperor guy, and if you've never seen them before, they're scary design, like this decrepit
wh-
vulture alien thing.
And then
just
they start
dissolving.
ripping his clothes off of him, and
Yeah, it looks like
and
they're
then he
just
dies
eating him.
like a pauper.
Ugh,
Yeah,
messed up.
it is messed up.
Well, I'll have to do some more
Wait till you
thinking.
see Legend.
I'll have to do some more thinking and think of
Yeah.
previously scarring movies.
Another one was Willow.
Yeah.
I just have.
I didn't
vague,
think that was scary, but that stuck with me.
Yeah, I have vague memories of Willow.
George Lucas.
It was supposed to be so good, and then it wasn't. Val Kilmer, back when he was pretty.
Back when he
Before
wasn't
throat
a no-go.
cancer. Ugh. It's so
Ugh.
sad seeing him like talk through that like
He
vibrating.
doesn't talk through that.
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah.
I thought
Oh, yeah.
he was denying that he had a tracheotomy.
No.
Well, if he is, it's not obvious.
I saw this. I think it was Birth Movies Death. They attended some film festival or screening, and Val Kilmer was there. I think it was like a Top Gun anniversary thing. And Val Kilmer was there talking to the audience, and he was holding like the thing up to his throat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was like, oh, Val.
Yeah.
Bad man.
Yeah, no fun. That's
But,
unfortunate.
I mean, he's probably doing fine.
Well,
with all that Top Gun money.
it's crazy.
No, I
that
hope he
we
is
had-
doing all right.
It's crazy that we have all these B movies from our childhood. It's like, well, I should probably watch these again. And then I love Halloween for that reason.
Yeah, I love Halloween for watching the movies and eating candy.
Uh-huh.
And because it's usually, like, at least where we are, snowy and cold.
Yeah. We're going to be doing
But
costumes and snowsuits this year. Because it's going to be...
Isn't that sad?
It's going to be
That, like, defeats
so
the whole
cold.
purpose.
It happens
like-
almost every year. It's nothing new.
Exactly. Maybe that's why I've just never really liked dressing up. I guess maybe I like trick-or-treating a little bit as a kid, but
Right.
I'd rather just, like, buy all the candy and just eat it.
Ugh, why buy the candy when someone else can buy it for you?
Right. Give it to you.
Well, when I say buy, I mean my parents. I don't mean like me as like an 8-year-old's going to go, oh, I've saved up money for a couple weeks, saved up my allowance. Now I can go buy a variety pack of...
Did you guys ever be like, I have to have a pillowcase to take?
No.
Oh, that was a big thing when we were little. They had to be pillowcases.
No.
I think I got that from the
I never got
movies.
that much candy. Because I would get like bored and be like, yeah, I'm totally fine if we go back now.
5 houses, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
One of those like just cheap plastic pumpkin heads,
Yeah.
you know, that hold like not that much.
Yep.
I would use those. Mine was black with silver eyes and mouth.
Ooh,
So it was a cool one.
nice. Well, what else do we have on the agenda?
Well,
Some news and then
it's
some
not really
trailers,
Halloween
right?
related, but we've got some more news about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And this one actually made me happy.
Of
So,
course it did.
long story short, the Game of Thrones guys, who I think maybe almost a year ago, maybe a little bit more, were tapped to make their own series of movies after the Skywalker saga ended. Well, apparently, they have jumped ship. They are no longer doing Star Wars. Their project is effectively canceled because they want to focus on their big $300 million Netflix deal. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Either way, they still get paid.
yeah, I can't really blame them. That's
Yeah.
a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
And that
Yeah.
means less Star Wars movies in theaters for me, and that makes me happy.
Well, there's
For
still
now.
there's still a Star Wars movie slated for 2022.
That was theirs.
I know, but it hasn't gone off the release schedule.
Yeah, it will.
That could
Probably.
be Feige's movie.
They said that it wouldn't be
Feige's no
Feige's because
director.
he's not ready for he can't produce it.
Has he ever directed a movie?
No, he's only been
And he's-
producer.
And he is apparently creating the story himself. So
Feige is?
yeah,
Oh, I only heard it was a producing role. But
I think he's creating the story. Like it's his movie. So
Of Star Wars?
yeah,
I have not heard this.
Hmm.
All I know is that until that happened, the Game of Thrones guys were going to do their series of movies.
yeah.
Everybody now is saying it's a trilogy. It was never confirmed to be a trilogy. They were just going to, set up this potential new series. And then after that, Ryan Johnson's trilogy was going to, be spliced in between. But now that they're gone, all we
Ryan
have,
Johnson's
I guess.
series of
Well, even
movies.
that one's like in limbo. That one's never
Yeah.
had
Yeah,
that one's never
one-
had
I think
tentative release dates or anything.
No, I think Disney's torn because of all the backlash his movie got. But he was one of the only ones that actually produced a movie without setbacks.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that was
So-
smooth sailing.
Yeah, so they're like
I don't think they're bothered by the backlash to that because they realize that again it's not the majority.
Maybe, but the
It probably
film-
made them question it.
I
but
think they're waiting. I honestly think they're waiting to see how this movie opens, and if it does less than, like considerably less than Last Jedi, when it should be doing more because it should technically is the last one, then I think they're gonna assume that his backlash negatively hurt the opening of this film. Like
maybe I don't see that. That was so long ago now, and if anything, they would probably blame Solo.
I don't think they
Solo did affect them quite a bit. Like that's really when all the changes started happening.
But it happened right after Last Jedi, so I think Solo got hurt from that. But they moved,
which it did. Yeah.
They moved Solo to summer, and that even Rogue One was still a Christmas film. So I think that they realized that Star Wars just doesn't work in summer at all.
Which is weird. All the previous 6 were all May.
Right.
And then Force Awakens, like, we're going to be Christmas now.
Yeah. And then you just think it works better at Christmas.
Yeah. No, that is interesting because some you saw the numbers that Rise of Skywalker's pre-ticket sales were like more than twice the amount of Endgames. But then there are also estimates saying that it's tracking to open up potentially lower than The Last Jedi. But then there's other things like, I don't know, I just don't think you can trust that tracking anymore.
I don't think you can either.
No,
things are just different.
Yeah. I don't really pay attention to tracking. I'd rather just see the results.
I don't think it's going to be smaller.
I mean,
than
we
Last Jedi.
make guesses all the time about how much a movie will make, but they're just guesses, I
mean, there's
They're
virtually
educated
no
guesses,
way.
Kyle.
Educated guesses, correct.
We're not just pulling this out of nowhere. We do have some experience in history with our guesses.
You're right. Excuse me.
We are the professionals here.
No, I mean, there's virtually no way it will do Force Awakens numbers. That's just like not attainable by
'cause it's
anything
just
ever again.
Pent up. There's been no pent up demand like there was with Force Awakens.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to open up less than Last Jedi.
I think it'll get to about the same. I don't think there's going to be a real change.
Well, historically,
or dip at all.
trilogies, the third one always makes more than the second one.
Yeah. The
Not as
second
much
one,
as the first, but
right.
the second one is always kind of a dip, which makes sense. People expect that.
Well, and people are like, what's the point of going? Because this isn't the end of the story.
Yeah.
Speaking of not the end of the story, what do we think about these other possible movies that could happen like without these guys, or do we think this is going to affect anything at all with other Star Wars movies now that they're out?
I don't know. That's what's interesting because, I mean, I guess like Cody said, that release date is still there. And it was known that the Game of Thrones guys' movies were supposed to be set around kind of the Old Republic time.
Or even
Let's
around
go
the first
even
of the-
farther back.
yeah. First
Histories
Jedi.
of the Jedi type stuff.
Yeah, origin stories
And
of
so,
all that stuff.
Do you think Origin of the Jedi would be more interesting or Origin of the Sith?
they're one and the same.
I know. I feel like I'd be kind of slightly more interested in the Sith.
In the beginning, there was no Jedi and there was no Sith.
Right,
there was
but
just
then there
the
was
Force.
Jedi Prime, the first Jedi.
Yeah. And then the first Jedi fell, like Lucifer.
It created the first Sith.
No, that's all it is.
And
The
then
Force is just like God, essentially.
Right. Or just balance, energy balance.
Yeah.
So what if
We're not
Anakin
believers.
was a mirror of that, started off in the light and then fell in the darkness, but then brought the light back?
That's the whole story of Star Wars.
Yeah, that
And
about
then
checks out. I
Luke
think we're done here.
And then Luke Skywalker started off in the light, fell slightly in the darkness, and then ended in the light.
Yes.
Is that going to happen to Rey?
Rey's not going to the dark.
At
This-
all.
If I were to make any predictions, I wouldn't be surprised if Ben like died at the end and also like sacrificed him, like he took Palpatine down with him,
Yeah.
doing what apparently Darth Vader couldn't do.
Was actually destroying him.
Actually,
He threw him
take down the
harder.
Emperor with him. Yeah.
He just didn't throw hard enough.
I kind of think that it'll be a new version. I don't think Ben will die. It could be that Ben does
Rey's
kill
gonna die.
that Ben
Maybe they'll
and
both
Rey
die.
together kill Palpatine finally, but that they realize they always need each other. Like you can't.
Well, that's true. We have to go back to what Freddie Prinze Jr. said on his
Yeah.
rant. At the end, there has to be balance because that's the
Yep.
whole idea. So right now, Luke's dead. So there's Rey, Kylo Ren, and Palpatine. That means
Right.
there's 2 Sith, 1 Jedi. That's not balanced.
Right.
Kill Palpatine,
And then it's balanced.
1 Jedi, 1
And maybe
Sith.
Rey realizes that she needs Kylo Ren because she'll go to the dark side if she does. You know.
And then they'll get
it'll
married
pull-
and have babies.
No, it won't be like that. They'll just be like respected adversaries. Like
Be
they know they need each other,
Yeah.
but they can't.
This
They
can't.
obviously
This,
can't
this
be
universe
together.
doesn't exist without balance. And
Yeah. You go to your corner, I'll go to
I'm
mine.
the blue one. You're the red one.
I'm the blue one. They just
We
like-
hate it, but we
Yeah.
kind of need each other.
Yeah.
You just go back to your corner of the galaxy. I'll go back to mine. Let's try and make this thing
And
work.
it's not Jedi, it's not Sith, it's something new where they work in
Force.
balance.
Gray Jedi.
It's just the Force. No, Freddie Prinze Jr. specifically says there's no gray Jedi. And his authority is the highest.
I do believe in Freddie Prinze Jr.
What? I
do
think
believe
there's
in his
gray
knowledge.
Jedis.
There's not, according to him, which is according to George Lucas.
That's just too black and white. There's always gray. There's
No,
always gray.
yeah, there's a spectrum because they're one and the same, but there's not like a literal gray Jedi. Like, I'm a Jedi, I'm a Sith, I'm a gray Jedi. It's like, no,
And
no
there's
you're
just
not.
like, excuse me?
It's like, no, you're not a thing. I wear gray robes and I have a gray lightsaber.
I don't think it's
That
like
would be
that.
really
I think
funny.
If you want to call it a gray
What if it
Jedi,
was
I guess
bright
you can. I think the idea is just that both Rey and Kylo were kind of grayish.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously the case. But
So do we think Star Wars is going to take a hit with them leaving, or do you think
no,
it'll still
it's
be
only
fine?
going to be a
No.
good thing.
Yeah, I think
I
so
don't think
too.
they're very talented people.
Whoa.
I don't.
But Game of Thrones.
I think
But they
they
only
had
did
great
good,
source
yeah.
material, and they probably spent a lot of time on that first season plotting out how they were going to do it. And once you plot it out, you know, they got fantastic cast and great writers. So you really couldn't do it wrong when you have source material
And
as
when you
strong
have that
as that.
budget that they were,
Yeah.
it's easy to make the quality.
But-
Were
right.
they given that big of a budget in the first season?
I mean, it was bigger than most other shows.
Was it?
It was
Okay.
considerably lower than what it became.
Okay.
But even at the time, it was
Gotcha.
still it was a huge thing.
Okay, I gotcha now.
But I think it's just obvious, you know, once they ran out of that material, it's like these dudes, they can do like one thing pretty good, and that is translate really good material into pretty good TV.
You don't think they couldn't have taken all the non-canon source material that there is of the Old Republic stuff and
No.
make something good out of it?
No, because there's not a story there. There's like nuggets, like with
Right.
world building, but they can't create a story out of that.
That's probably true. That's why they couldn't create the story at the end.
I was in denial for a while.
Now you've seen the light.
In denial about
About Game of Thrones.
about it being like amazing.
I
or-
wasn't in denial, but I was like, I recognize these problems, but but they're pretty bad.
Of
And
like
then-
the season, you mean, or of
Yeah,
The...
and then like you see
gotcha.
their reasoning, and one of them is, I don't know. You
It
see
was-
like the behind the scenes stuff of them
Yeah.
talking about the episode that they wrote, and I'm like, no, I see it now. You guys are just bad.
It is weird because like I never got through the show all the way. Like I was only able to get through a few seasons, but I don't know, for some reason the writing just never landed with me at all. And now it's just weird seeing all these people like almost coming to my side. Being like,
No, I
it's
mean,
never been good. I
the
was
first like four
it's weird.
four
now.
seasons, depending on who you ask, 5 and 6 is like legitimately one of like the best television shows ever created. Like it's historical.
for sure.
But man, I'm just glad they're not doing Star Wars.
Well,
I'm glad that means less Star Wars, and I'm glad that the next Star Wars we get will not be from them. So it's a win-win for me.
do you think Star Wars is going to move into a more Marvel direction where it's kind of like vanilla storylines?
I don't think so. I honestly think
I kind of think by bringing Kevin Feige in, that's the direction they're going.
I don't think it's that simple. I think that's not giving Kevin Feige enough credit. I feel like because he's obviously knows his stuff when it comes to planning out these big connected things. But I
Yeah.
don't think that he's this guy who just thinks it's all done one way. And I believe him when he says that he was always very much a Star Wars person who just happened to get Marvel movies,
Right.
but his heart was always in Star Wars. And so I think he can take the analytical business side of it and knows like what will work financially, but I don't think he's just going to do the formula approach. I honestly feel like more Star Wars is going to be Disney Plus stuff,
Yeah.
and there'll be a long time before we get theatrical movies. And when we do start getting the movies again, I
you think
really
they'll
don't think
grow
it's
out
going to
of-
be a 2 to 3 a year.
Yeah. Do you think they'll grow out of the Disney Plus stuff? Like we'll only get a movie if the Mandalorian show works so well?
I don't think so. I have no doubts that Mandalorian will be like really well received. And then that Obi-Wan series, when that comes out, people will love that. I just see more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't see like pumping out these Star Wars movies that have end credit teasers and then they culminate in like an Avengers Star Wars thing.
I don't think
I
it's like that.
I don't think it's gonna be literally Kevin Feige doing Marvel, but with Star Wars.
Mm.
I think he has his own plan.
Yeah. I have some pretty big trust in him, and I don't want to see that same plan go into Star Wars either. I don't mind it being different.
No, I mean, it works
Being
for
its
comic
own
books. It works
franchise.
because comic books, by their very nature, never end.
Right.
You know, they've
Never
been going
end,
for
always have
decades.
collaborations.
There's no surprises. Nothing really lasts. So this person will die, but the next one they'll be back because comic books. You know,
Because comic books.
and I'm sure, I guarantee, Kevin Feige knows that.
Mhm.
He's
Right.
like, that's just in the nature of comic book storytelling. That's what people want. But Star Wars isn't like that.
Yeah.
So
Won't be interesting to see. I've now introduced my son to Star Wars, and we are watching all the movies together, and he's my little Star Wars buddy. So
I'm so happy.
I know. I introduced him with number 6 because that's Mom's favorite, and I thought he'd like the Ewoks. And we've watched 7 and 8, and now we're gonna go back to the beginning and watch number 1 and watch them all again before the last Rise of Skywalker comes out, and then I think I'm gonna take him on my birthday.
Nice.
I'm so excited. Have the best seats in the IMAX theater. Got the whole perfect. What's it called where the sound mixer sits? I don't know that general area. The whole row, dead center. So excited.
Just going to
Ooh.
be blasted in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to watch it here in this horrible theater.
Oh,
I can't take my son
No.
anywhere.
no.
I know.
Yeah, it's a real bummer.
How was the IMAX experience at the West Yellowstone?
It's really good.
I wonder if they would get. I'm sure they are. We'll have to maybe we'll take a drive and do an overnight thing.
I don't see
I'd say
any
it's
of the
worth
Star
a
Wars
drive.
movies in this theater until I've seen it in IMAX at least like 3 times. I saw Force Awakens 4 times in IMAX, and I came back here and saw it 3 times.
Oh, that's amazing.
I saw Last Jedi also 3 times in IMAX. Then I came back here and saw it a couple more times.
And by that time, you're like,
Rogue One I saw in
Not the
IMAX.
same.
No,
Rogue One would have looked great in IMAX.
it was. Yeah, it was great. I didn't see I lied. I didn't see Solo in IMAX. I saw that here for the first time.
Do you think that tainted your experience? Of
No, I
it?
loved Solo when I saw it.
Mm.
I hated how he got his name.
Me too.
I thought that was the stupidest thing, and I hated that and the Darth Maul scene are unforgivable. I hate them. They might be some of the worst scenes in all of the Star Wars movies ever. But
I liked the story overall.
I thought
though.
it was a fun little ride.
Yeah, it was fine.
Wow.
Anyway, Star Wars isn't going to change now that these guys are gone, but and maybe some fans will be happy now too.
Oh, I think a lot of people are happy.
Yeah.
As far as Christmas, besides Star Wars,
There's
I think
nothing
the
else
next
besides Star Wars.
no, there's Star Wars, and then there's other movies, and I think the best of the other movies is going to be Jumanji,
Of the
Jumanji,
other,
the next level.
the next level,
yeah.
and
we've
the
got
last final trailer.
final trailer. There you go.
I like this final trailer stuff. The final trailer just came out, and I just enjoy it so much. I like everything. I love the change in the characters, and I don't know why, but Jack Black as that girl is like so funny to me, and it's probably so low hanging fruit comedy, but I just love it. Her being like, "Guys, we're in Jumanji again."
See, eyes
think
when
it's so
when they
funny.
show that part, it's like, okay. I mean, that was such a successful character. There's no way they can't not bring that back. But like, who played? It's not the girl playing him at the beginning of the movie.
It's the big black dude.
So I'm hoping that doesn't happen until like
look up
towards
his
the
name.
very end,
Yeah,
because you know,
I don't know any of their names.
I don't know.
Can you name any of the kids? I don't.
Bethany is
When you're talking
the
about Danny Glover, that's who's
Bethany is the
the. Are you talking about the older
girl.
No, there was the redheaded girl,
Or-
the
oh, you're
blonde
talking about the
girl,
children.
the skinny
Oh.
guy, white guy, and then the big black.
I thought you were talking
like,
about Danny Glover
football
from. Okay, I thought you
playing
were talking about
kid.
the older guys.
It's
my
Nat
bad.
Wolf or Alex Wolf. I can't tell
I
them
can't-
apart.
I can't
I-
tell between the
I
Wolf
can't.
brothers.
I have
so.
no idea what their
Oh, it's Alex
character
Wolf, okay.
names are.
I don't either.
I think who you're talking about is Sir Darius William Blaine. I think that's who you're
Is
talking
that
about.
his character name?
No, that's the actor.
Okay,
but
well,
I don't know
let's-
the character's name.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what their
I just knew
names
them
are.
as Jock, Loner Girl,
Yeah.
Loner Boy, and
Preppy
and
girl.
Preppy girl.
like cheerleader girl.
Yeah, I say that's
Yeah.
about correct.
So in the second one, the Jack Black's character is played by the jock guy.
Ooh,
He's like,
mixing
I didn't
it
even get to
up.
pick this guy.
See, that's I don't know. You guys like the trailer a lot more than me. I don't think it was
Yeah.
bad,
What?
but
It
I just
wasn't
couldn't.
bad.
I didn't know. I didn't think it was bad,
Oh.
but I couldn't help the whole time just being like, none of these jokes are gonna land as good as they did in the first movie because all of them are recycled.
But
Well,
from a different perspective, and I like that.
We'll get a little bit of mileage out of the old grandpas in
I
the beginning,
love
and
the
that'll
old
probably be
grandpas.
pretty funny. You know, some jokes about joints,
Yeah.
but
From
after
Danny Glover and Danny DeVito.
after
Yeah,
that,
the
I
Dannys.
don't see a whole lot more ways they'll find like new jokes.
I will say this: the Welcome to the Jungle movie, that one was a surprise, and that's part of the reason why the jokes did land. Because going in, like, we were like a remake of Jumanji
Of a board game?
with Robin Williams. Like, come on, how can this work? And then we were all pleasantly surprised, and all the jokes hit. But I do get Eric's worry that
Yeah, it was a great premise.
like the shock of it all is depleted now, and they may not have much else to change.
I mean, when you
up
think
for a
back to the
sequel.
first movie,
I get it.
90% of the jokes came from the fact that they were in bodies that weren't their own. And that was pretty funny, you know? The really tall guy is now in short little Kevin Hart's body. And they got a lot of jokes out of that. I feel like they got all of the jokes out of that that they could in the first movie. And I don't think mixing up the people is going to be as effective because it's going to be like, remember in the first one where it was funny because he was angry that he was in a short person's body now. Now it's funny because he's angry because he's in a fat person's body now.
I feel like it's just pure entertaining. I know the level I'm gonna get out of it, and I just want to go and turn my brain off and just enjoy it. And I don't care if it's recycled jokes. I think they're still funny.
That
Maybe
that is the case, but it could be a worry for theaters to not see like the same kind of success that they got out of the first Jumanji, because people could read into like what Eric is reading into and probably not feel as inclined to go as before.
Well, I think Jumanji is going to be hurt most by Star Wars, so it's just never
Didn't come out at the same time that Star Wars did,
Yeah, Last Jedi.
and it still made bank, way more bank than people like expected.
Yeah, because Last Jedi I don't think held up as well, and Jumanji went through. But I think if it's as good as maybe Force Awakens, this one might hold up a little bit more. I don't know. I could just see it being hurt more by Star Wars.
I just see it as being, and again, this is just based off of trailers. For all I know, they could, have lots of actually really creative and new ways to find new types of jokes and stuff.
Spin the story some.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's not the case, but from everything I've seen from these trailers, it's like Hangover Part 2, but with Jumanji, where it's the same jokes, the same beats, the same everything.
Not Hangover
except
Part 2.
Instead of this dude, thinking he's too short, now he's thinking that he's like this old, out of shape guy. They're only moving around some of the pieces.
That's true.
A little bit.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually kind of excited for it.
I like Crazy Train, though, so that was the best part of the trailer.
It's always a good song. I do think the saving grace is going to be the cast from the first movie of whatever this series is. I think the four of them are just so good together, and we saw them in the first one, that we're really amped for the second one, and after this trailer is because we're seeing that still really working and clicking.
Maybe.
I
feel like a lot of people are going to be like, this person's not as funny in this body as they were in the first movie. This person's not as funny in this body as they were in the first movie.
That actually could be. I actually didn't think of it that way. That could be a.
Or maybe they'll be even
concern.
funnier. Maybe they'll be
They'll
like.
be even funnier. Be optimistic.
That's what I'm saying, though. Even if it is even funnier, because they had already done the whole shtick in the first movie, it's not going to be as funny as if, we saw it for the first time.
That's true. I'm not going to argue with you on that. I'm just still excited to see
At
it.
worst, I think it's just going to be super lazy carbon copy. And at best, I think it's going to be another pleasant surprise like the first one was.
I'm going with pleasant surprise.
I want it to be. I always want movies to be as good as they can be, but I'm not getting I'm not getting excited for it. But I will see it.
Yeah, I'm going to try and check this one out too.
You know what I'm not really looking forward to is Cats. I read just this really good New York Times article about how
Poor Cats is being ripped apart ever since it was
Yeah.
announced.
about the Broadway show, how it's just so loosely based, has no real story even on the Broadway show, and so they're like, how are they gonna make a story for?
Cabin.
Yeah,
Lots of dancing to distract you.
I honestly
Right.
don't think they're gonna change the story at all.
no, I don't think so
think so.
either. I think they'll add a couple new songs, but
Maybe.
Mm.
That one is going to be very interesting.
yeah. And then we've got Little Women and
I'm
Spies
super
in
excited for that.
Disguise.
That one looks good.
And
Little Women.
Is
in
1917
Disguise.
just debuting New York, LA at Christmas? I think so.
Maybe a little bit more than that, but
Yeah.
it probably won't go too wide until January.
1917
I'm excited for
looks
that one,
pretty
too.
good.
I always get a little
Colin Firth.
hesitant when people build up to like it's all one take because
Oh, I hate that too.
it's kind of it's like if you can pull it off and it makes sense, then yeah, it's impressive. But a lot of times it's like, look how talented we are.
Well, I feel like that's kind of gimmicky. Like, oh, we did it all in one take, because I don't mind the camera cutting away.
No, I don't think anybody does.
It
But
doesn't
it can be an
disrupt this-
interesting way to like
Yeah,
because from what I gather, 1917 is about the two brothers or
Yeah.
those little guys, and they have to, go from point A to point B
Right,
with
to-
no stopping because they have to get them the message as fast
Yeah.
as possible. So it makes sense to me, that approach. I'd be like, okay, that could make it really, anxious in a
Right.
good way.
I guess that doesn't lend any like interest to me for wanting to see it. I do like Colin Firth, and I do think it's an interesting like take on in the war, kind of an
Yeah.
interesting story to tell. So I'm more like kind
I just
of
want a good
excited about
World
that.
War One movie.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's officially holiday season, right?
It is.
Yeah, so here in the upcoming weeks, we should be getting some more actual like content to talk
Oh
about.
my gosh, there's so much content coming out next weekend. It's crazy.
Yeah, the 8th. Well, I guess this weekend we should quickly
On
summarize.
the
We
first.
have Terminator Dark Fate.
Yep.
Early show starting tonight. There is my mind is gapping. What are the other new releases? Arctic Dogs, if that's
Yes.
your thing.
That it's certainly not mine.
Harriet from Focus Features,
It's
probably
expanding.
that's expanding.
Is
Might be some Oscar or award nominations for her performance. Cynthia Erivo.
Cynthia Erivo. I
Erivo.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's one more.
was Motherless Brooklyn? Is
Motherless
that-
Brooklyn.
That might be more limited.
It's more limited, but
so keep an eye
It's
out if
more,
you do want
it's
to
still
expand
a
it.
Warner Bros. Movie. I think it looks good, but I don't think a lot of people are aware of it.
it's Edward Norton's film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
his
Edward
passion
Norton
project.
Yeah.
wrote and directed it.
My grandparents are super excited for it.
Oh,
It has
really?
a great
Oh, cool.
cast.
It
It
does
does
have a
lend
good
itself
cast.
some credit to
Mhm.
it. But I've just heard some just negative things about it. So we'll
That's not
See.
here this weekend. Otherwise, I
No.
would check that one out. But yeah, Terminator's going to take the weekend easily.
And Lighthouse
For
is
sure.
expanding to more locations this week too.
Yeah, but not here.
I'm sorry.
Not yet. I
Not
can
yet.
feel
One
it.
of these days though.
I want that
Maybe.
grainy black and white square aspect ratio
Yeah.
claustrophobic experience.
And I want it now. So I imagine everyone should be
Yeah.
preparing for.
The onslaught of product. We're now entering the holiday corridor.
Yeah, it's going to be an
It's time-
exciting one, I think.
It's time to get with family, go shopping, and watch movies. That's what we do at this time of year, people.
True.
So what are we thinking about Terminator?
I'm actually
Just purely performance-wise.
I think the new hybrid girl looks so good. Like that character actually makes me want to see this movie. I didn't see any of the other.
You haven't seen any of them?
Like I've seen 1 and 2.
Oh,
I didn't see
Okay.
anything between that. So
I
don't-
didn't see Genesis, but
Is there more than that? I don't
yeah,
even know.
there
how
was
many.
Rise of the Machines. That was the third one in 2003.
I never saw that one.
Salvation was.
Salvation was
4.
2009.
I didn't
Yeah, that was
see
Terminator
that.
4. And then Genesis, the
Is
fifth one,
the
was
fifth one.
2015.
I might have seen Salvation. Is that the one with?
Christian Bale.
Yeah, and
That's the one?
he doesn't
Oh, okay.
he plays.
I think he's just John Connor.
Is he just John Connor?
I
I think
so.
so. Yeah.
He like
That
shoots
sounds
a fully CG Arnold Schwarzenegger that's naked, and it's awful.
Oh. I may have seen
Was that really
parts of that one,
2009?
but I can't remember anything.
Wow, like
that
the year
happens
before,
in
he
it.
was in Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
That's just wow. That's
Yeah.
just crazy to me.
So I haven't seen that. So that hybrid girl character actually super intrigues me, and I want to see it just to see how awesome she is.
Yeah.
I don't really care about Linda Hamilton. I never really liked.
Ooh, that's blasphemous.
I didn't
right
like
there.
her character.
Whoa.
Just
That's insane to me.
That's a hot take.
That is
I
a very
disagree
hot take.
fully, but
yeah.
okay.
I think it's like kind of cool and nostalgic. She's back, but
Sure. Yeah.
and I like seeing Arnold back as an old man Terminator. That's kind of cool.
See, all of that stuff just gives me Force Awakens feelings.
Right? Like, yay, they're back.
It's like, but I feel like it's not being called out on it. It's like,
Right.
that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
That's why I'm more excited about the girl hybrid.
yeah, all the other
Protector.
stuff, it's like, finally back to basics. James Cameron's back. It's the best Terminator since Terminator 2. It's like, that's not really saying anything.
Yeah. No,
Like-
and you already
But at least
Kinda-
it's promising.
they already kind of told us this was Salvation because he was consulted for Salvation. It's not like James Cameron wasn't involved in that last
In
one
Genesis,
at all.
I know he was.
Or yeah, Genesis.
Yeah,
He was consulted. I mean, it was,
Mhm. Oh, I know.
and they played up like James Cameron had.
See,
a
that's
hand
why
in
I just
this.
I don't know. I'm not excited about this movie. I'm sure it'll be an average, maybe above average movie,
Mhm.
but I just think they're playing it
I
way
like
too
how
safe.
the bad guy Liquid Terminator talks in it. Like that was chilling to me
Yeah.
Yeah. That actor's pretty good.
because he
yeah.
was charming.
It
And
just
then
seems like they're kind of tweaking Terminator 2 and
Probably.
they added a new character. It's like, okay.
I think they're they're combining Terminator, the basic story of the first Terminator, with the cool Liquid Terminators in Terminator 2,
Yeah.
and making a new movie.
I don't know. I've just never been super confident that it'll be like the comeback. I think that franchise is just long gone.
Do you think
Probably.
there's many other people that are gonna think the same way as you? That like they've been burned one too many times, and even though it'll take number one, it still won't do
Maybe what I'm
gangbusters.
expecting will happen is that enough people will go see it and they'll be like, "This is a fun enough action movie." It's look, Linda Hamilton's back. Look, Arnold Schwarzenegger is back. That was a fun time. You're gonna get all of the misogynistic comments online saying that they're just pandering to SJW agendas because they made the main character a woman, even though Linda Hamilton.
Yeah,
but
that's already happened, guys. Move on.
So there's going to be a little bit of a backlash to that and how all of the main characters are women. There already is backlash
Really?
like that. Oh, yeah.
She's so
From, like, the first-
hybrid gal is so tall.
From like the first trailers.
She
Oh, I
looks
love
so-
Mackenzie Davis. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
she's pretty good,
badass
too.
in it. I just
She's intimidating.
yeah, yes, she's an intimidating female. I like that.
Which is funny because her last role was like a role as like a nice nanny.
What was her last role?
It was in Tully. I don't know. I
Oh,
think
I never
Eric
saw
saw that.
that.
I saw
movie,
Tully.
didn't you? Yeah.
She's a quirky nanny.
Yeah. And now in this, she's.
I mean, she was in Blade
intimidating.
Runner as kind of like a cyborg type.
Oh, that's
never
right.
saw
She wasn't that
Blade
one.
Runner either.
Oh, that one's so
No, I think
good.
she's great. I'm sure she'll do great.
Well, this will be
Yeah.
my first experience with her if I see
It just seems the whole story just seems way too play it safe, lazy. Let's just do what Force Awakens
Oh yeah,
did.
because they want to make more movies. That
Oh, yeah. No,
whatever
if this
girl
works-
survives in the end.
Yep, if this works, it'll kick off a whole new trilogy or
Yeah.
series of Terminator movies. And
Well,
then the
unless
cycle
if-
continues.
Unless the creator gets the rights back to those.
Because nothing ever ends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As we mentioned a few weeks ago, some of those 80s properties are getting handed back to their.
Because they had the
Initial creator.
30-year windows are
Yeah.
closing where the
So maybe it won't
creators
even matter.
can revert the rights back.
I forget her name, but I don't think she would take the rights back and be like, no, sorry, James Cameron. Because they wrote it together.
Yeah.
But
I don't know either. I'm just
sure
just saying.
I'm sure she would renegotiate more of a profit participation to use the rights. I mean, there's always that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll probably be the case. I'm just saying.
Well, we all
Maybe
think
it'll
that
happen.
Terminator will be number one this weekend.
For
yeah,
sure.
easy.
Fresh,
Easy.
some fresh films.
I think
Everything else is kind of limited.
Yeah.
And so I just don't
Maybe
see it.
around 4 or 5 spot. I don't think Arctic Dogs is going to really do anything.
God, I hope not.
What? I want Jeremy Renner's animated
No,
film.
Jeremy
I don't
Renner's
think Jeremy Renner wants that to be
meltdown is
successful.
even worse than last time we talked about him.
Yeah.
It's all making sense. Of course he's in this movie. You can't get any other
Angelica
roles.
Houston's in it.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, Jeremy Renner sounds really depressed in this role.
He is.
He's like, "Hi, my name's Slappy, the
He's
Arctic
like, people
dog."
are catching on to me that I tried to murder my wife, and then I made an app about myself, and everything's coming apart. I just need a few
Renner.
extra bucks to fuel my drug
Renner,
addiction.
I hope you're doing okay, pal.
He's not. I guarantee it.
Nah, probably not. But no, that Arctic Dogs movie, good lord, that just looks bad. Like, why make a movie at that
But
point?
if there are families out there who already saw Addams Family and like Maleficent, I guess,
Yeah.
there's some new
yeah,
For
that's
little,
the family
for
content.
little kids out
there's a
there.
new option to take your kids to. But yeah, other
If
than
it's
that,
cold and blizzarding like it is up here in the Great North,
I love it.
take your kids to see a winter movie.
Cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure
That's
that's
it.
everything we have.
That's it for the spooky Halloween special.
It was so spooky.
Ooh.
I'm
Everyone was terrified.
gonna make sure my big bad wolf of a husband's not goofing off up front.
Yeah, make sure everyone's staying at work.
Yeah.
Take it away,
This is
Kyle.
serious time, even though we may be in costume. Some of us.
One of us.
Didn't get a memo. So everyone, thank you again for watching another
Watching it?
listening.
Listening.
Well,
Maybe
some-
one day we'll
maybe
add the
one,
watching
Maybe one day
component.
you'll see our faces. Who knows? But for now, thank you for listening. As always, you can check out Off the Break podcast on all platforms that have podcasts. I'm off my game today. Or you can check us out at silverscreeninsider.com, where you can also see many of our content, including an entire database for theater owners and management to help figure out what to do with all these upcoming movies.
Have a good weekend.
Take it
Happy
easy.
Halloween.